How's everyone doing today? Hope you're having a wonderful week. Um, Let me just a quick note in the chat that everything is good and we're live and that everybody can hear me. Sweet. Okay. I got a message saying no response from YouTube, but let me go ahead and hopefully that's okay. Sound is good. Okay, cool. I guess sound is good. I don't know, the YouTube streaming API, I don't know, it seems kind of buggy or something because yeah, it always says disconnected, but it still keeps streaming, so it's weird. Okay, cool. Yeah, hope everyone's doing good. I'm a little tongue tied today. Man, you should hear all of the when I like record, like my tongue gets tied all the time, man. I'm doing that all the time when I record and I have to edit all that stuff out. It's probably why it takes me like an hour to record a 2-minute video. Okay. So last week, we did some really cool stuff last week. So I showed off the new embed stack, right? And we went over how to use that with some offsite and some other cool stuff. But really, the game changer that I think really blew a lot of people's minds were how we used some Foundation 6 stacks inside of the Total CMS blog list, right? And I've already started seeing a lot of people on the community start to really use other F6 stacks. Like today, there's Marin. Sorry if I saying your name wrong. He used the details stack from Foundation 6 in the blog list to create like a dynamic FAQ that he can build out with a blog. Pretty crazy. Really interesting enough, I actually built a similar thing on the Hangout on Friday. You join our Hangouts on Friday, right? Because they're like really awesome. And last Friday's Hangout was great. And we built out an FAQ using the accordion stack, the Foundation 6 accordion stack. So we actually built out FAQs and it was an accordion. And yeah, it was really, really cool. So we'll probably all implement that again today. And if you have any questions, we can definitely go ahead and go through and zip through any of those. And I just want to say hi everyone that joined it again. A lot of the same people. Gunter. Oh, Marin's here. Marin, hopefully I'm saying your name right. That's a lot of J's in the wrong places for me. So yeah. Gaston and Gunter and Mr. Bloom is here. Wolf is always. Mr. Workman, Dominic, Martin, thanks for joining everybody. Carl, hey, nice job on that new review stack. Carl looks pretty slick. I like it. So cool. Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. Oh, Tony's here. Hola. Hola. Aloha. Hola too. It was Cinco de Mayo yesterday, right? So hola, everybody. Yeah, only for the Dutch. That's right. Cool. So I guess for that further ado, let's go ahead and play around. I will go ahead and let's jump into my machine's actually behaving a lot better today. I'm getting much better frame rates to the stream, and my machine doesn't sound like it's about to take off. So yeah, we're good. I'm not sure what I did different last week, but man, it was chugging. Let's go ahead and start sharing here. Okay. So cool. So here we are. I'm starting from a blank slate today. I thought that would be nice. And again, if you have any questions as we're kind of doing this, just pop them in the chat room and I'll try to get to them as we can. But we're just having a little bit of fun today. Actually, another thing I wanted to chat about, maybe I'll do that first really quick, is the new server utility. So I shipped an update to a lot of stacks yesterday. Total CMS was one, Easy CMS was another, and then Agent and Video Wall and SEO Helper and embed. I think those were all of them. Those are basically my larger PHP stacks, like the bigger ones that probably get the most use, or that use kind of like little mini web apps within them. And what I shipped was a really cool utility. And let's go ahead and show you. I'm just gonna, oh, agent's another one. So let's just go ahead and here I'm gonna plop an agent stack on the page. Just search for agent. Okay. You just have to have agent on the page. It's not even gonna worry about putting any content on it. And what this does is let's just go ahead and launch Safari really quick. Where is Safari? Oh, here it comes. Where is it? Where are you gonna launch Safari? Thinking about it. Well, I guess I should knock on wood in terms of performance of my machine, right? Okay, cool. Here we go. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm actually gonna go to DreamHost, which is where I host my my test site. Most of my sites are hosted on a server that I manage on DigitalOcean, but I've used DreamHost for many years, and they've never done me wrong. So I keep my account open with them, and yeah, I run my test domain sandbox.joeworkman.net, as well as a couple other. I don't even know what else is on there. Man, I cannot type my 1Password. There it goes. All right. Let's just sign into DreamHost really quick. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the PHP version of my sandbox domain. Okay. So let's just go ahead and on sandbox. I'm just going to go ahead and change. I'm going to change it to 7.1. Okay. Because by default, this new server check utility, it checks for PHP 7.2 or above by default. So right now I'm going to go ahead and set my domain to be PHP 7.1. Now it's going to take a couple minutes maybe, but it says 5 to 10 minutes, but normally they're a lot faster. So let's just give it a minute though. And while we do that, let's just go ahead and preview this locally. This is obviously just a blank page, but eventually, let's go ahead and there it goes. Boom! Look, it's already happened. So, what you'll see now. Oh, let me move this so I'm not covering it. Now this message only displays inside RapidWeaver in preview, or if you preview locally in a browser. This will never publish. Okay, so don't worry. This will never get published to your live website. So this message will never ever be published to your live website. Okay. So what this alert says is basically that, hey, we noticed your server isn't running PHP 7.2 or above. You're running version 7.1.3.3. Maybe you need to go update. Okay. And this will, if you want, you can click on this little X and it'll close that. So if you really want to ignore it, you can. But obviously, depending on what stack you want, if you want it to function properly, you're going to want to update, right? So I've just been seeing, I'm sure a lot of you are on the RapidWeaver community, on the Weaver Space community, and you see a lot of people having issues with this and that. And a lot of the root cause of their issues is the PHP version on their server, right? A lot of hosts, especially like, smaller budget hosts, are still running PHP 5.6, which isn't even getting security patches. Like, it is dead long gone, right? Just to preview, like in this alert, I have a link here. And if we click on that, it actually opens up to the supported versions for PHP. And if you see 5.6 ended support 18 months ago almost. So yeah, we are currently on 7.2. 7.1 isn't even supported anymore, right? So 7.2 is the lowest version that you should be running on your environments. Okay. Pretty soon though, Total CMS 2, when that ships, I'm going to start requiring 7.4. So I'm not going to go into all the reasons. It just has a lot of really cool stuff that allows me to develop less buggy applications. Okay. Or not that my applications are buggy now, but it just allows me to, find bugs and squash them before I ship them easier. Okay. There's a lot of really great features in PHP 7.4 that give me a lot of power and tools that I need to ship better stuff for you. So yeah, Total CMS 2 is going to require 7.4. So right now, I wanted to get this out the door now to kind of get people used to upgrading. So if your host supports 7.4, go ahead and update to that now, but at least upgrade to version 7.2. Okay, so that's that. Now there are some other messages that you could potentially display here. Right now, those aren't enabled for anything, and those are essentially like. Let me see if I still have some stuff on my clipboard I can kind of plop in here. Hold on one second. Let's just go ahead and add an HTML stack to the page. I'll just do that. Agent. See, I'm just going to add an HTML page. You don't have to worry about this. This is just some. Let's see. All right. You don't need to worry about this code. This is just a little bit of code that I would ultimately be shipping inside one of my stacks. But I just wanted to show you an example of another feature that my server checker has. GD's installed, so let's do like. Let's do that. Okay. Let's do a couple of them. Okay, I think that should work. Okay, so now I'm going to preview this. First I need to fix the server version. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and back and let's go fix my server version. Let's go ahead and change this back to 7.4. Change. Okay, so we don't need DreamHost anymore. Let's just refresh this until this error eventually goes away, which means my PHP version is good. Still think I have 7.1.3. Boom. Okay, so now we get a different error here. So the server checker noticed that my server is now running 7.4, so it validated that my version is good, but then it goes on to an additional check. And this is a little snippet of code that I added here. That's what this tells the checker to look for a couple extensions. So let's say, for example, these two extensions aren't really used by anything right now, so I knew they weren't going to be installed. But let's say Total CMS, for example. Total CMS uses a lot of extensions like reading of EXIF data from images, some image manipulation libraries, some internationalization stuff. So you can do like, umlauts and UTF-8 characters and stuff like that, right? And we need to make sure that we have specific extensions installed so that Total CMS can do its job, right? So what this does is allows us to also check if all of those extensions are enabled in your server. And if they're not, you'll get a message that looks like this, okay? These two extensions I know aren't installed on my server because they're definitely not ones that most hosts would have. So I explicitly added these just as a test, right? So yeah, and you can click on these links to get more information about that extension. And eventually I'm actually going to also add at the bottom here, like what stacks are requesting these and stuff like that. So you know, okay? So anyway, that is the new server check utility. Again, it just comes by default with a lot of the PHP stacks that I have. So any stack that I have that ships with PHP will have that new server check utility, which is really, really cool. Okay, so while you all are here, wasn't for that, but I just want to give you a heads up about that because I thought it was really cool. I spent quite a bit. I thought it was that was going to be a task that I spent like 2 hours on yesterday, but instead it took me like, I don't know, 18 hours. But I got it all shipped. So I'm really happy with that. It's going to save you guys a lot of time. It's going to save me a lot of time. It's going to save everybody a lot of heartache, with especially people that aren't aware of that they should care about PHP versions on their server. A lot of people are like, I got a host. I just trust my host is going to serve up a website. That's not just it, right? Okay. So blog list. Okay, let's go ahead and build out a page. I deleted everything that we had from last week in this is just my test project file, right? So let's just go ahead and add some stuff back in. Obviously, I need a CMS core on the page. Let's just shrink that bad boy. And let me put in my license. Okay. So I got my CMS core. Then we're just going to do a blog list, right? So blog list. Now, I'm not going to recreate the one that... Mike asked if we upgrade to 7.4, we shouldn't see any issues. No, you should not see any issues. If you upgrade to 7.4, you won't see any issues. I use 7.4 on all my servers right now. So yeah, as of right now, I noticed somebody last week, I think Chili Dog has already fixed it, but when they enabled PHP 7.4, it didn't have a couple extensions enabled. So it was breaking total CMS. But I think they fixed it already. So that was on Friday. Someone tested that and find out. But I'm pretty sure Greg was already on top of it and fixed that. But just a quick heads up with Chili Dog, yeah. And potentially other hosts. But again, this PHP, although I haven't added the module stuff into Total CMS yet, I need to do that. So right now it only checks for the versions. But as the time goes on, I'll go to each individual stack and kind of list out the modules that it needs, and you'll get those module checkers. Okay. Oh, Chris is the one that was on the Hangout. I think Greg already fixed that, but Chris, you can test that if you want for us and put that in the chat if you want to break your site again for a second. Okay. Okay, so I'm not going to redo what we did last week. Let me just go ahead and create this blog list really quick, just a default one. Oh, yesterday another update I shipped was inside. Oh, that was the blog post stack. On the blog post side, there's now a slideshow. Wolf, this is for you because you found this out. So I shipped the slideshow blog post F6 stack, right? Because the blog slideshow stack was not working inside Foundation 6. So now there's an F6 version of that. And so yeah, there you go. That shipped last night. Okay, let me just create a quick blog list here. Let's just add in a title and an image. And I guess we'll add the summary. Why not? We'll just keep it simple. And probably want the image above the title. There we go. Oops. Boop. Okay. Let's just preview that, make sure that we're golden. Hey, we're golden. Oh, someone put a lot of bold in our post here. That's okay. And these, I'm going to go ahead and hold on one second. Let's just go over to I'm going to link to, is this the blog form page? One second. Yeah, let's just do that. Okay, blog form. All right, let's just make this page simple. I just want a simple form. I don't want the blog post at all, because we're just going to be working on the blog list today. Okay, let's just do that. There. Let me go ahead, and I'm just going to do a custom post URL just for now. This is my test server. You guys shouldn't be using the custom post URL. I've said this on many Hangouts or many live streams. Yeah, it's good for quick little demos and tests like I'm doing here, where I have multiple potential pages that it links to. I just want to explicitly link to that page. Let's go ahead and publish that really quick. Boom. And while this is publishing, Chris just said he just tested, and 7.4 is working great on Chili Dog now. So, boom, win for Greg. Thanks, Greg. So, interesting tidbit. Me and Greg are trying to get back to our schedules lined up so that we can actually do another podcast for Weaver Radio. Because, yeah, that'd be good to have that back. So, I know it's been a while. So, let's jump on to sandbox.joorg.net. Okay, let's go ahead and click on this. If you're during the live stream, by the way, like if you notice, like I'm working on stuff, I know this is all open to the public, sandbox.joorg.net, but let's not be nice and not go ahead and start editing stuff while I'm doing the live stream. That would be great. Okay, cool. Thank you very much. I'm just gonna copy that and we'll save that. Okay, let's go back. I'm just gonna go here. Let's go. I'm gonna save that as the summary. I just want all of these to have a summary. They're all gonna have the same summary, but it's okay. It's just important that they have a summary. Cool. Okay, there we go. And we'll refresh this. Boom. Now they all have a summary. Most of the summaries are the same, but that's okay. Okay, so now we have our basic blog list. Let's just go ahead and we can now preview just locally. Boom. So now let's do some interesting stuff with it, right? I'll start off with showing you what I did last week during the Hangout. And let's go ahead and let's go to Foundation 6 stacks. And let's put in, I used an accordion. Okay, so let's go ahead. And what I can do is I'm going to put an accordion in my blog list. Okay. And so in accordion, we have a couple different things, right? We have a title and then our content, right? So obviously in the content, well, in the title of this, we want to have our title, right? So let's just go ahead and, well, we don't need the title stack. And as we learned last week, we could just do tilde title, right? Remember this syntax right here, right? So we have that. It's just curly brace, title, curly brace, okay? You can have spaces or no spaces. It doesn't really matter. I just kind of added spaces so it's a little easier for you guys to read over the live stream. Okay. So we have title. Okay. Let's just click OK. And then inside here, let's just go ahead and build out. Now, if we wanted, you could actually use here. Let's go all out, right? I was going to use a layout stack. A blog list layout stack. So this one right here, you could use that, but let's just go all out. I'm actually going to use a Foundation 6 2 column, which to be honest, this actually I didn't do last week. So this will be interesting. Okay. So changing it up a little bit. So this is a Foundation 6 2 column, and I'm going to add the image here. And then I'm going to add the summary here. Oops. I have to work with it, Isaiah. Sometimes this drag and drop, when you go too quick on my live stream, is slow. There we go. Okay. So here inside my blog list, now one thing actually, okay. So let's go ahead and preview that really quick, right? Let's just go ahead and preview that. Interesting. So if you look here, I still have my grid layout, right? Which is kind of interesting. In my so, all right, hold up. If you look here, if I click on this, it doesn't close. I can open it, but then I can't close it. Well, what's going on there, right? So if we go into my accordion, I have to say allow all closed. Now, what's interesting is we're going to build this and we're going to make it look like it's one big accordion, but in fact, what it is a single item accordion for every single blog post, right? So what we need to do is in the accordion stack, we need to say allow all closed, because when there's only one post in the accordion, only one section, you want to be able to open and close it. Okay. Okay. So let's go ahead and preview that again. All right. So now if I have San Francisco, boom, works. I have Mandalorian. It's kind of, actually I didn't build out this layout. Oh, that's interesting. It spans out, makes the grid go big. Okay. Obviously this grid layout for this doesn't really work too well. It could work for some things. Maybe if you only had the image in there or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, that doesn't work too great. So let's go ahead and tweak this a little bit. So let's go to the blog list. Basically, I just want it like a normal. How do we want it? We just want one item across, right? So let's go to our grid setup, and I'm going to set the columns to be one all the way across, right? So we just have one everywhere. Let's set the gutter to 0 as well. All right, so we do that. Okay, there we go. Look at that, dude. Boom. Now, if you notice that there actually is a gap in between each section, so if we wanted to eliminate that, let's open up the inspector and see what that is really quick. Let's see here. Use a little target tool. And if we look, it is, what is it? Oh, it's on the accordion itself. So the accordion has a bottom margin, right? So if you look at computed, you'll see that it has a 1 rem or 16 pixel margin on the bottom of the actual accordion. Well, we're all ninjas here on this live stream, so I know if I go to my accordion and I put in MB:0, that will make the bottom margin 0. Pretty cool. Okay, let's go ahead and print that again. Preview that. Voila! There we go. We have an accordion. Look at this. Now, interesting snippet. When I did this on Friday, I used the blog layout stack to do this two column layout. And inside the layout stack, when it was inside the accordion, this image didn't display. But when I use the 2-column foundation stack, it does. So that's really slick. That is super powerful. Like, I'm blown away. Like, I know I built this stuff, but sometimes, like, I just marvel at how flexible a lot of this is. Now, obviously, for styling, maybe you'd want these things to be bigger, the titles and whatnot. I'm not going to go through all of that. You would just use swatches to target the accordion styles and all that jazz, right? You can adjust these little doodads here inside the accordion. Again, I'm not going to go through all of that today. Okay. We're not all about styling it, but I just want to get you the basics. Look at this. This is really cool. Okay. So I know that there's been a few questions lately. I think it was you, Mike Henderson. Weren't you asking, like, you needed to build out an FAQ, right? And you wanted to, see, you didn't understand how to do it with Total CMS. Well, here you go, man. I mean, if this isn't the perfect FAQ scenario, like, I don't know what is, right? I mean, this is awesome because as soon as I I can keep on adding new posts, and this will just dynamically just add them to the list. Like, it's really, really cool. Okay. So accordion, really cool. That was pretty simple. Let's go. Oh, one thing I do want to note, okay, is just like last week, okay, if you notice in here, it does work, okay, but I actually have some invalid HTML in here, and here let me. I'm actually going to show you guys. I didn't actually go into the HTML and show you guys, right? But let's go ahead and do that. Okay, if we look in here, it should. Here we go. Okay, so if you look here, inside the HTML, you'll notice that this is the section title, okay? And this section title has an ID, okay? Right here. ID section 1 label, okay? Now, as I've said before, when you use an ID in HTML, you can only have one on a page. Now, because we're basically building out a template, that ID is used in every single blog list, right? Now, the browsers tend to compensate for that, right? A lot of things will still function, but the fact is we now have invalid HTML, and we don't want that, okay? So how can we fix that? So what we can do is we could just simply do change the section ID, and we can do dash, and we can do the 2 curly braces, and we can just add the permalink to the ID here, because we know that permalink is going to be unique. Okay, so now I have section dash permalink, and if we preview our page again, we'll notice that here my ID now contains, oops, where is the ID? That's not the ID. The ID moved. Here it is. Boom. The ID is now section dash the Mandalorian label. Boom. And actually, if you look further below, it's the ID of the content also says section the Mandalorian, right? So very, very cool. That is a very important step. Okay. I know it might seem not important because our web page still works, but we don't want to have invalid HTML. Okay. Because, Google could, slap us on the wrist for that. It could affect our SEO. We don't want that, right? So yeah, so go ahead and change this section ID in the accordion item. Okay, we need to change that to have something unique, and we can inject the permalink to do that. Okay, sweet. So let's play around with some other ideas. So Marin went ahead and oh, let's see. There is could you reorder these FAQs in the future? Yes. So as Marin suggested, in the blog list, you could do. There's a sort here, so you can sort reverse alphabetical, oldest first or newest first. Okay. So oldest and newest obviously go by the date of the blog post. Okay. So yes, you can manipulate the FAQ order by using the date. But you can also do it alphabetically. And so if you wanted to, maybe label your posts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, FAQs, you could potentially do that. But then if you wanted to inject one in the middle, then you'd have that problem. Yeah, that's probably not the greatest idea, actually. Scrap that. But maybe maybe it's not an FAQ, but maybe you had some sort of directory of cities or directory of something, right? Of items. And you wanted to sort those alphabetically, you could do that here, right? So that just uses the blog sort engine. In fact, here, I'm going to sort by ABC order. And let's watch this sort. There it goes. So now it's sorted alphabetically. So we have Joe Workman is Cool, San Francisco, The Mandalorian, and Weaver Space, right? So now, we can sort these alphabetically. So now if I created a new post that was like a cool live stream, right? That would be first because it starts with A, right? So you can utilize these sort options in the blog list. Obviously, there's shuffle too. But if you wanted some sort of manual, option, you would just manipulate the date to kind of structure that, and then use newest first or oldest first. Okay. Hopefully that helps out. Good question. Thanks, Andy. Chris says he tends to sort all posts by date as opposed to alphabet. Yeah, but again, for this, you might not be using this for a blog, right? If you might be using it for an FAQ, or like I said, maybe a directory of, cities or counties or states. And a lot of times those you would want to, organize alphabetically. So yeah, depending on if you're using it for a blog, alphabetical doesn't make sense. But I'm not sure this layout really makes sense for a blog either. I guess it could, maybe in a sidebar if you wanted to show like the top 3 posts or something like that. I don't know. Just an idea. Now, one thing to note, this doesn't behave exactly as if these were one unified accordion. Okay. Because in an accordion, I can make it so if I open one, it closes the other. That's not possible here. Okay. And the reason is because each one of these is an accordion unto itself. It's just a one section accordion, right? So instead of having one accordion with 4 sections here, we have 4 accordions with 1 section. That's a very important distinction because they're different accordions, we don't get that option of only having one open at a time. So that is a slight drawback, but hey, we couldn't do this before at all. So, hey, I'll take it, right? Really cool. Okay, new layouts. Marin did something really cool on Weaver Space, and I actually haven't duplicated this yet, but I'm sure it's going to be easy. And I need details. Okay, so we're going to use the details list here. So I'm going to go ahead and add details. Okay, and then as my title, in here, I'm going to go title. Okay, and and let's just go ahead and I'm going to drag and drop that in there. And let's delete my accordion. Okay, so now I'm using the details drop down inside the blog list. Okay, and really simple. It's pretty much the same thing, right? There is no IDs here, most because this just uses a detail is a new item that is available in HTML5 for browsers. So this is a native browser utility. This is using zero JavaScript. This is pure 100% HTML. There's no JavaScript at all in this. So there's no linking of IDs and any complex logic. This is crazy simple, right? Raw HTML. That's it, which is nice. Really, really cool. Okay, so let's go ahead and preview this. And if you see here, we have a completely different sort of layout, right? Obviously, this one, like, there isn't cool animations in terms of dropping. It's very simple, and the image is a little bit jarring. Let's go ahead and make this a little simpler, right? So a lot of times, if we just want a straight up FAQ, and I didn't want to drag the whole thing, I just wanted this one. That. Let's just delete that. Okay. And preview that again. All right, so now we do boop. If you notice there we go. Really cool. Now, if we wanted to, I can go ahead and let's just go ahead and just add like a one column in here, and we will just give it some margin and padding, just so it indents it a little bit. And there we go. Right. So now we have a much simpler FAQ. Again, it doesn't have a lot of the fancies. This is just a built-in HTML thing, which to be honest is kind of nice because this is going to be crazy performant. It's going to load crazy fast. It's just going to work great everywhere. So if you need something really super simple like this, this is just a great thing, great way to use it. Okay. I am going to Marin ask some questions about how can we title like the header here and title the little caret. And I posted a CSS selector on this thread in Weaver Space, but I'll probably in the next update I'll add a element so we can style the color of this particular caret right there. So that's kind of cool. Okay, that's really slick, right? I mean, really, really cool. What we can do with Foundation 6 and Blog List is nuts. I thought it'd be fun. So those were the two ideas that I wanted to show you. Can you style the title using H4 in custom classes? Oh, so you want to style the title here. Let's go ahead and look at that really quick. Why not? So if I inspect that, I think that's the details element, I think. That's the summary element. Okay, so what you can do is any classes here. Hold on. Let's see. Hold on one second before I say that. Let me re-look at my code here. Okay, so summary. I got it. Okay, so any class that you add here will get added to just the title here. Okay, so if I want to do summary, okay, or like here, let's do if we wanted to be styled like my H3s, I could just do H3 in there. Okay, and then now those summaries will get styled like my H3 tags. There we go. Boop. Right. Remember these cool utility classes where if you wanted to style something like another element on the page, at least headers, right? You can just add the header tag as a class, right? So this just quickly styles all that summary as H3s. But if you wanted to use a custom swatch, you could just type whatever class you wanted in there and then style that class. Okay. Sweet. Okay, any other questions? I think I answered all the questions here. Could you make it so the website visitor can change the order criteria? Oh, yeah. We're kind of. Can you make it so the website visitor can change the order criteria? Um, so if you wanted to do that, you would, to let the website visitor change the order. That is a little bit more complex. Um, maybe we can. That would require probably something like agent. Okay. I actually do that inside on the Weaver Space page. Maybe if we have time at the end, we'll dive into that. That's a little bit more complex to let the user customize that. Can the title be made to look like a link? Well, you can style again for the title. You can style it however you want. Just go ahead and put in your classes here, and do that. Someone I know I did mark a thing to style the cursor on hover so that when you hovered over it, it was actually turned into a link, or it doesn't turn it into a link, but the cursor changes, right? So that when you're hovering over the title, it looks clickable. I'm totally okay with that. In fact, if you wanted to really quickly do it, I added a feature for me to, or a request for me to do that in an update. What if we just did, I think it's summary. Just do a cursor pointer. I think this is the CSS. Off the top of my head, this is going to be the CSS. So you just do summary cursor pointer. Okay. Actually, if you want, probably just do details summary. That way it only does the stuff that's inside of the details. If we did that, there we go. So there, it only does it when I'm hovered over the summary, right? So when I'm not on the summary, it doesn't. And there we go, right? Boop. There we go. I think that's what you were talking about, Martin, right? So again, if you just want to quickly see that simple CSS, I will I'll go ahead and add that in an update. I already filed a feature request for me to do that in a future update, probably the next update, which might be a little ways away, but we'll get it. But the CSS there is simple enough. Cool. Thanks for the feedback on that. Filter should still work, correct? So yeah, filter will still work. So if you have like filter links, you could filter by category and whatnot, and that will still work. Right. So if we did, I'm going to go ahead and publish this page really quick. Let's go ahead and publish this. Publish. Actually, I wanted to change something really quick. Darn it. Oh, it's only 4 files. Okay. Boop. All right, let's go back to details. I want to put that H3 back out. All right, let's do H4. Okay, so now those are styled as H4s, and let's publish. Joe, can you publish the F6 blog post slideshow? It looks broken on my end. Sure, we can look at that. I just did a simple test last night. It was working for me, but we'll look at that. Okay, so we go here. Oh, I didn't want to. I wanted to go to the actual web page. Actually, here, let's even go all out. Let's hold on one second. Let me just do. I'm gonna build this out really quick. So over here, we're gonna do my drag and drop. I wonder if it's because of the trackpad. Oh, I wonder if it'd be better if I used a mouse. I don't know. I don't think so. Okay, let's do the column split as like 8 and 4. Oh, leave it as auto. That's fine. Okay. And then on this side, I'm going to put in the blog links. Blog. Oh, those are admin stacks. Blog filter. There. We're going to add links. And we're going to do categories. And the filter total CMS. All right, cool. Let's publish this. I probably wanted to line those right, but oh well, doesn't matter. Should still work. Yeah, I should file a bug with Isaiah about that drag and drop Martin. Sometimes it just, yeah, it happens to me. Mostly it happens to me during live streams. It doesn't happen to me too often outside of live stream. So I think it's just maybe a system resources thing. I wanted to add some padding to that. Let me just publish that again. Okay. So here I have a page, right? I have all of our things, and here I have categories on the side. Okay. Now I don't recall what categories each of these had. I probably should add a category on there. But let's pick like category 4. So if I filter this list, oh, it works. Okay. So here I filter this list by category 4, and only these blog posts filtered by category 4. So that, yes, filtering does still work with this layout, right? If you look here in the URL, all it does is add question mark category equals 4 on there. Oops. There we go. Okay. So yeah, that's nice. And if I click on 1, it goes to those are all the things that have category of 1. Here's category of 3, category of 2, and all posts. Oh, oops. For some reason, all posts didn't. There we go. Okay, cool. That's nice. So if you wanted to have different blog lists based on, 15 minutes. I don't have time to go over that example with agent. I don't think, because I want to kind of look at what else we can use from Foundation 6 here. Essentially, Andy, what you would do is, if you're familiar with what agent is, you would use an agent URL. Actually, here, let's just go ahead and I'll show you an example using Weaver Space, actually. Okay. While this project is opening, let's go to Weaver Space. If we go to the stacks page on Weaver Space, I don't know if many people even know this exists, right? By default, you have this grid layout, right? This really cool, fancy grid layout. But I have another layout option, okay? And if you look at this, let's go ahead and I'm going to click on this. And if you click on this button, it reloads the page, okay? And it has a different layout, okay? It has a much simpler layout. And if you look at the URL, all that did was added a layout equals list option. Okay. So that's all that did. Actually, I probably don't even need this project open because it's pretty simple. Okay, so that layout equals. I probably should have just left it open. Whatever. So if I go to the agent URL stack and we add this to the page, and in agent URL, I can simply say if layout is list, right, then basically I had this blog list stack inside there, right? So basically I had two different agent URL stacks. I had one for is if layout equals grid and one if layout equals list, right? So here I had two. This one is if layout equals grid. Now what's important here on the one that's grid, because that's my default layout, you set that as set as default value, right? So if no layout is defined, grid is the default value. But then if list is defined, then define this. So then inside these two agent URL stacks, I'd have a different blog list with different sort parameters. That's how you could, easily have a user defined, layout engine on, your website. Okay. So that's a way of using agent URL for that. Agent URL is a really powerful, cool stack. Okay. Let's see what else we can do with Foundation 6 here. So I already used the columns, right? Nice. Menus, anchor, menus inside a blog list. I think that sounds kind of crazy. What are a details layout? Let's see what that would do for us. Oh wait, no. Oh, I want a definition list. So if I did a definition list, we can have a title, and then we have the detail. Okay, and in here we could do. I'm not sure if this looks useful or not, but let's do it. Title. Okay. And if you notice here, I can't drag in a stack into the details stack. Okay. I actually have to put in text. Okay. But we can put in summary. All right. And let's delete that. And let's go ahead and preview that. Oh, interesting. It actually prints out the, that's actually a really good thing. Okay. So if you notice here, it prints out actually, so my paragraphs are done with HipWig. Okay. My summaries are done with HipWig, and HipWig contains HTML because it's styled text. Okay. But if you notice here, this actually, it like printed everything out literally. Like I don't want to see my HTML tags. What the heck? This is really good that I spotted this. Okay. So, if you want your HTML to actually come out as HTML, you put in 3 curly braces. Okay. So here, you put in 3 curly braces if you're using HipWig content. That was a really good mess up by me. Glad we hit that. There we go. So now that it doesn't actually display the HTML tags, and we just have a nice little kind of list. Okay. Obviously, I mean, this, what's nice about this is the markup, the way, yes, you could just do, you might be thinking, Joe, what's the difference if I actually had just a title and the summary in there? There's not too much difference other than the markup here, right? So the way Google's going to interpret this definition list could be a little bit different than how it would interpret something that has like an H3 tag with a summary and then an H3 tag with a summary, right? So just a little bit different the way Google would interpret that. So yeah, just that is an entirely different story for a completely different time. But yes, tags matter the way Google will interpret things, right? Because this is what's called a definition list, right? So this is, this is basically a keyword, and here's the definition of that keyword, right? So it kind of tells Google that this is a definition list. Okay. So yeah, there we go. Also, I mean, if you wanted, like, you could have definition lists can have multiple titles. Like maybe you can put in the I'm not sure if my posts have authors or not in this demo data, but you can put in title and author as 2 different versions of something, and then the definition list as the summary or something like that, right? Let's see if that actually produces any content. I'm not sure if my posts don't have an author set, so it doesn't display. Okay. Next up, how about quotes, right? That could be interesting, right? So let's go ahead and let's say I wanted to have the ability to put in quotes. Okay, so let's delete that. Let's say this is I know my posts don't have authors, so I'm going to use the title here. And then here, we're going to put in the summary. Go ahead and preview that. Boom. Look at that. And that's amazing. That would actually be really cool as like, let's put, like if you just wanted at the bottom of your page, like a few quotes, right? All right, let's just go ahead and do this. Let's put this back in there. Let's do like 2, 3. Oops. 3. Let's delete that 2 column. Preview. Boom. Like here, let's say you only want to display 3, right? So let's go down and limit the number of posts to 3. Only load 3. Anytime. Okay, so now if we resize this, we can change it, but that could be a nice way of just having kind of like a little style. I mean, maybe if we added these, maybe made them a little bit more blocky so that they have a background color or something like that, and you could style them a little bit nicer. But here, now we can have block quotes, right? So we can use Total CMS to manage quotes, and then we can like randomize this. So like if we did 3, but then did shuffle, right? It'll shuffle and it'll randomly display 3 random quotes from the blog, right? Really cool stuff. So that's a really cool idea. Well, there's some other stuff we could do here. Let's see. So we use the quotes, labels. I can't see that being. Maybe if we wanted to do like here in the. I wish I didn't delete that details thing. Here, let me add this definition list back in here. It's just really quick and simple. Just add header and details. Actually, no, hold on. I'm gonna add the details. I actually like the details. I think the details is really slick. Okay, so we're gonna put the title back in there. And then inside here, we're just gonna add. What did we do? We did a 1 column. Just gonna build this out really quick again. Oh, and I want my list to see 1, 1. Okay. Okay. Also, if you set the flex width to 1,000 or something like that, it makes it whiter in edit mode. Okay, there we go. And then in there, we want the summary. All right. What I wanted to do was I wanted to test this out. Let's say I have this little label stack, right? And oh shoot, my posts don't have authors, but if you were to do like here, let me go ahead and I want to see if this works. It should work. I'm going to go ahead and modify one of those posts online real quick. Shoot, I don't have the links anymore. What page was that? I think it was page 9. There we go. Oh, of course I don't have the author in here. Shoot. All right, hold on. I want to test this out. So let's just go ahead. I'm going to add the blog form really quick. I need to add author to this form. Author. Let's just put it right below the title. And publish. There's the author field. So I'm going to put in, oops, Joe Workman thinks Joe Workman is cool. There we go. So I'm going to save the author. Now, if we preview this, actually, hold on. I actually published that. So let's just look at it right here. Oh, that didn't do what I thought it was going to do. Ah, shoot. Oh, I added it to the Joe Workman post, which is, where is it? That's weird. Oh, I set my blog list to only display 3 posts, and I shuffled it. So let's just do newest first. There it goes. Aha, there we go. So here I use the F6 label stack to put in my that. Kind of cool. It's interesting. You might be thinking, how can I put in tags? That is a whole nother ball of wax. That because tags has multiple, and that's something that is kind of crazy. But let's see if we can do it. Okay, man, this would be interesting. Okay, why not? So this is going to require something special. Okay, so man, it's going to be. Let me test this first, and then I'll do. Let's see. So it's tags. Okay, and then in the label we would do a dot, and then below this. This is pretty advanced, crazy stuff here, using the templating system that is completely not documented for you guys. But this uses mustache. Okay, so what this does is it says, okay, I'm going to start a loop through all the tags, and then it's going to add a label, and then the dot actually inserts the tag, and then this ends the loop. So it's kind of like a for loop for programmers. Okay, here if we zoom in, you guys can maybe see that a little bit better, right? So again, we start off with tags, we loop through, and then it's going to do the labels. Wow, this is crazy if this works. Oh, okay, that didn't work. Error. Okay. Maybe I got the syntax wrong. Hold on. I thought I got the syntax. Oh, it's oh wait, no. The hashtag. Maybe I need the hashtag in there. So maybe I need the I need to do that hashtag tags. Test that. Ooh. Oh. Interesting. I'm kind of determined to get that working now. Hold on 1 second. Ah, what was that? I didn't want that. I know we're going along. Sorry, everyone. I never thought about doing this before, and this is kind of interesting. I just want out here outputs, sections. Yeah, that's what I did get. That is the correct syntax right there. So it'd be tags, and this HTML is this one, so it shouldn't matter. exactly how it should work. I would actually expect that to work, and it didn't. Okay, let's look at the HTML. Oh, it's a label is, so it's blank. So it inserted 3 labels, but it didn't. Interesting. Hold on 1 second. I wonder if it's. Hold on, is it tag? Did I just do tag? I don't remember. I might have to launch the code and look at the actual code. I don't think it's tag. Because it on 3. Oh, I know why. I know. I remember what I did in my code now. Okay. Don't need to look at my code. Okay, so we do tags. And then instead of dot here, we do I think it's label. Oh, snap. Look at that. So Mandalorian doesn't have any tags. But if you look here, we have tags, right? Wow, that's really cool. Check that out. This is definitely an advanced syntax here. And I think we could do the same thing with categories. So if we did categories. So one thing of note, you have to use the F6 HTML stack, not the HTML stack that comes with RapidWeaver or that comes with stacks. Okay. You have to use the Foundation 6. This HTML stack is different. Okay. So you have to use this HTML stack. Again, not. I also think there's an HTML stack inside here, the blog list. You can use that one too. But yeah, you cannot use the one that comes with stacks. So you cannot use this one. This one. You cannot use that one. Okay. This won't work with that. And then so here, let's test categories. Let's see if that works. Should be the same syntax. Yep. Cool. Very cool. Now the immediate question is, can I add a link to that? Right. And I was just thinking, why don't labels have a link setting so you can make the label a link? I think that was a mistake on my part. I think I need to log a feature so that labels can be links. Because then what if it would be really cool if these could be made links and they link out to the actual category or the tag or something like that, right? Really, really cool. I like it. Could you also use swatches to target categories or tags and style them that way? Yes, you could. All right. So if you were to use the so let's just go ahead and do tags. We add the tag stack, right? And we put it inside of there. And actually this already says, link to tags post, right? And then you can do display, you can have a separator. And yeah, so yeah, you could do that. Scott says link box. Yep, you could potentially use a link as well. So here we go. If you notice here, we have tags, and then you have, and then they're all linked, right? So you could do that, and you could use a swatch to style this tag or this link so that it looked like a box. You could do that as well. Oh, Scott, link box wouldn't work because the link box wouldn't. You'd need one around each individual label. But then you could put the. Okay, Scott, let's try it. All right, so if I go, I do a link. Where's my link stack? There's a lot of link stacks here. This is the one I'm talking about. Hey, this one. So we had that, right? And then we have that. And we do that. And then we do here. This would link to, these are categories, right? Yeah. So category equals. Now this is where I don't recall what it is. I remember label, but I'm gonna have to figure out what the other thing was. 1 second. Oh, link. Okay. Yeah, you do. Okay. Link. All right. So here it goes. So my link would be percent or a question mark category equals link. So this is going to link to the same page we're on with a category of link, right? So let's go set link of that. So that's going to loop through the categories. It's going to add a link. It's going to dynamic. Now, if you're wondering what's the difference between this link and label, so the link is like a URL friendly version of your category or tag. Okay, let's go ahead and delete that. This is pretty wicked. Oh, it makes them interesting. It makes them it works, right? So it actually does work, but it makes them not inline, which isn't cool. Okay, we'd have to fix that. Not sure why that's making it a display block, but that's something that could be fixable. Cool, good idea. I like this. This is fun. Let's see if we can here. Let's just continue on. Let's see what else is in Foundation 6. We're just going to keep going down the thing with ideas here. Obviously headers, right? So you could use a header stack, right, inside here. So like if you wanted a header, and you just want to use the title, obviously you can do that, right? So now I have a header, and you can customize whatever specific header you want, and you can use all the other stuff. You can use underscores. So like if you want the underscore left, you can have that in there as well. Really cool. Okay, so here's just a simple. Let's get out of there. Here, I don't want to get rid of this because that's really cool. Let's say we just, Jesus. What the heck, dude? Cut. Paste. There we go. Delete that. So yeah, if we had that, right? So there a header with a little separator, our summary, and then our messed up blog links because we put in that link stack. Cool. Let's keep going down a little bit. Picture. You can't really use the picture stack in the blog list and get the images from the blog list. That's 1 second. Let's see what we can do. Because the image they're putting multiple images. Yeah, that might possibly work, but hold on, let's look. While we're going all out here, let's just I'm looking at the code here. Okay, so let's give it a shot. If we wanted to use images, that's going to be tricky. Let's see if there's anything else. If there's nothing else, I'll come back to that. That will definitely be tricky. We could probably do the similar thing. Basically, we'd loop through gallery just like we looped through categories. You'd loop through gallery, and then gallery inside there's a lot of different variables because you have the alt tag, you have the 3 different size thumbnails. So there's kind of crazy stuff. So picture could potentially work, but you'd have to use warehouse, obviously. Hmm. Okay. Let's see what else there is. SVG. Um, let's see here. Callouts. Obviously, a callout could be used. That's just like a little box. Caption, accordions. What's something that's interesting? Oh, cards. You could use a card layout, right? So if you wanted to, build out some sort of card layout, you could definitely do that by using all these tildes or all these macros inside of the various sections, right? So you could add a card section and then a card divider. Oops. Yeah. Right. So you'd have like your header up top inside the card and stuff like that. So definitely possible. You can definitely use cards. Drop down, Lightbox we did last week. Off canvas sliders. Wouldn't try sliders. Oh, tabs. I wanted to try this. This is gonna be okay. I forgot about it. Good thing I looked. I wanted to test this, because this is gonna be kind of crazy if it works. And so, let's say I wanted to create a dynamic tabbed layout. Okay, kind of like what we had with accordion, but I want it to be tabs. So here to have tabs. Oh, interesting. You'd have to. Won't work. Sorry. I thought it would work, but once I saw that interface, yeah, that's not going to work because this would create multiple tab containers. And that's not what we want. Okay. Yeah, maybe something for the future. That would be really slick. And now we're on to forms. Okay. So anyway, that does it. So thank you very much, everyone. Let me look if there's any more questions. Can this be adjusted so that the single item is open when opening a new entry? So the problem with those is because they're individual. They're either all open or all closed. Because again, they're maintained as separate individual entities. If you wanted, you could probably come up with some sort of JavaScript that opens the first one or something like that. But as of right now, there is no way to adjust those so that just the there's no way to adjust those. Oops, it looks like I'm frozen. So anyway, hopefully you guys can still hear me, but my video is frozen. It looks like. So we'll go back to my desktop then. So yeah, there isn't a way to like open just the first one right now. It's either all open or all closed. Okay. Sorry about that. So what he means, guys, is like if you had, I'll put the details back in there. Really simple one. All right, and then I had title, and then let's just add the summary in there. I'm not going to worry about adding padding and all that jazz. Let's just do that. And in details, you can say open on page load. Okay. And what you'll notice is when I do that, they're all open on page load. Right. So it's an all or nothing thing. And the reason is because basically we're creating a template inside the blog list for what a blog post should look like, right? But so but we have, if we did flex grid plus full width, and we set, okay, here's an interesting idea. So, okay, what if we did this? The full width one has open, the non-full width one has closed. There you go. There you go. That works. So here, I'm exploiting the ability for I'm using FlexGrid plus full width, which allows us to have two different layouts for our blog posts. And so basically, and if we set this to nth full width and we set it to 0, it's basically only going to apply it to the very first element. So this full width will only get applied to the very first one. Okay. And then there we go. Really cool. And you could do the same thing with the accordions and stuff like that as well. So good question, Matthias. Yeah, that's an interesting workaround for that. What is your best latest tutorial for setting up Total CMS blog with Foundation 6? So right now there isn't a combined tutorial for those. I mean, last week and this week was the first time I've kind of really gone into how you can use Foundation 6 inside blog. So yeah, watch last week's live stream, which I think you were on, and this week, just to kind of see how, how we do those. And then for setting a blog, just use the blog in 30-minute video that I have. I have a video that's like, how to blog in 30 minutes or something like that, or how to set up a blog in 30 minutes. So watch that. That's a really important video to have all the various steps to getting a blog set up. But yeah, in terms of using Foundation 6 with Total CMS, another thing is if you want to style elements inside of all of the various swatches, let's just choose, I don't know, a background for right now. If you go to the elements and you go to page element, you notice all the way down at the bottom, okay? If you can see this down here, oops, that's not what I wanted. You scroll all the way down to the bottom. You'll notice that, oops, that was scrolled too much. We have all the blog fields here. So you can quickly style, all the various blog fields using a swatch and these page elements. So if you wanted to quickly style the blog title, you could do that. But remember, I mean, you could use the, if you wanted to use the header stack or the detail stack or whatever, you could just drag in the F6 header stack and then put in the little macro in here, the mustache macro. And then you could just use Foundation 6 stacks, right? So, sorry, Andy, there isn't a video that kind of goes over both at the same time. I do plan on doing a getting started with Foundation 6 kind of like little beginner series, and then probably what I do with Foundation 1 and Total CMS 1 is I did the first 3 videos were how to set up a site from scratch using Foundation, and then the second 3 videos were I added the CMS to it. So I'll probably do the same thing with, to be honest, it'll probably be with Foundation 6 and then Total CMS 2. So it'll probably be after Total CMS 2 ships when I'll do that series. But until then, last week's live stream and this week's live stream, should really help you out. And then just learning how to use Foundation 6 in general. So yeah, hopefully it helps you out. Mike said that he followed the 30-minute video. So thanks, Mike. Hopefully that helped you out. And hopefully, these live streams last week and this week helped you out too. So cool, everyone. Thank you very much. I hope you had a wonderful time. Hope you learned a lot today. I had a lot of fun just kind of playing around with this stuff. As you can see, the power of Foundation 6 with Total CMS is pretty insane. You can do a lot of stuff with that. Get a lot of bang for your buck there. So hopefully, can you start with the position stack? Okay. Well, Carl, you're a pretty smart guy. So learn on absolute positioning in CSS and fixed positioning in CSS, because that's exactly what the position stack does. So I'm going to give you that tidbit of knowledge. So cool. Thank you very much, everybody. We'll see hopefully on Friday. We have Hangouts, and we will see you there. We'll probably talk a little bit more, maybe show off some more stuff that you guys have done from now until then. And we'll see you then. Take care, everyone. Bye. Oh, really quick, before I lose you, dude, this week's deal of the week is Target. Target is an amazing stack. It is like my favorite positioning stack actually out there. We do have a position swatch in Foundation 6, but Target is just a really powerful stack. So check out Target. It's on sale this week, so really great deal. Hopefully you go out and buy that if you don't already have it. And we'll see you this Friday at the Hangout. Take care, everyone. Talk to you later. Bye.